know if it was, I think it was like the third or fourth deployment, somewhere in there. I really can't, they all seem to mesh together. But that deployment, that's the one that changed my world. We went to a target and our troop kind of broke off. We had 3 different buildings to hit. And I went to one, or my team went to one, and then the other guys hit like another compound, maybe 500 yards down this dirt road. And we get up on the wall because we're doing call outs because we don't want to go in because this network was known for suicide vests. A lot of them, because we shot a couple dudes, and every single one of them had a suicide vest. Every one of them. And so I'm up on this wall, and my vantage point is I can see through the door, and it's light inside, dark outside. There's maybe a couple like dimmer lights on the outside, the exterior of the building, and I could see in there, and a guy stops like right where my vision is. So I got can't even use my dot because it's light in there. So I'm going to red dot on him. With my doubler, and I'm just on him so I can see him. But I couldn't tell what he had. He had something on his waist, but I couldn't tell. And I saw kids, like pretty much when I could tell something was around the way, I see kids come in. I think like 2 or 3. And he like brings them in, and he clacks himself off.
Whoa.
So those kids just evaporated. He evaporated, and that roof of that house lifted up. And by the time it settled down, that pressure got to me, and I was knocked off onto my back. And I was like trying to come to, like what was kind of, get my bearings. And I was like, holy crap, that dude just killed all his kids. It was another time. I was like, these guys are freaking animals. These guys are savages. They don't care about human life. They care about their agenda or what they want to do, killing the infidel. That's all they care about. Enough to where they're going to kill themselves and their children. And I was like, how do you fight that kind of enemy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was heavy. It was heavy. So that happened. So the other team sent like 2 or 3 guys to help us out because they're like, all right, this is seriously where the action is. We're calling in air support by a couple squirters. Just taking as many people out as we can because clearly they're not coming alive. So we're like pulling in the arsenals. And then we get comms on our radio that 2 guys, our guys, got shot. And that was Mike and Nate. And so we finished what we were doing. We go back, and Mike and Nate had passed. And I remember I walked by, and Mike was on the ground. And I could see him. I could see his face. I could see the damage done by the machine gun fire. And that was, so we saw a lot of death over there. But death seen from the bad guys and death from your guys, 2 different worlds. And I can still picture that, every detail, everything. And Nate was still struggling. He was still had breaths in him, and I could hear the wheezing and hear him fighting. And then it just got quiet. And then we had to move to Exville. We had to dump some grenades, take out as many dudes as we can. At another building, the 3rd building, buddy Eric Fro, who we just actually had on the Unafraid podcast, he was walking into a building. Because we were doing the pieing technique. We weren't just rushing in because of these suicide guys, and he didn't see anything. And he walks into the room, and I guess there was a stack of blankets, and the guy was in a fortified position with blankets kind of blocking it, kind of concealing it. Dude unleashes a full magazine of AK, and it went all around his body. Didn't hit him. He came out of that room, from what I understand and from what he said, and then his number 2 man, just kind of like True Lies, where he's they're checking the body.
Yeah.
He's checking all his body. He didn't get hit once.
Wow. That's not the first time I've heard that happening.
Yeah.